Well, welcome guys. It's been a minute since I posted a video. If you guys haven't seen, I have made a post regarding kind of update on what's going on with the Corolla. And I was at a NASA driver education event doing a hyperdrive. And I was driving it like as I normally would on the road. Obviously, when I drive the car, I put it in drive, put it in sport mode, and then let the car do all the driving. I don't ever use the paddle shifters. I don't do any of that. I just stop and go. That's it. So so basically what happened, I met up with Chad. I sold my Honda Fit to him, and I was selling it to get some other stuff done personally. And Chad, he had never been to taking his car out before in a driver education event. So I was like, hey, well, they have one coming up at Thunderbolt, and I've never been to Thunderbolt. So I was like, well, let's go ahead and do a hyperdrive together. So we both signed up for the hyperdrive and had a great time, other than my car failing. And it was a big shocker because, the car had never done this before, not going into limp mode, not shifting on its own. It was the first time it ever happened. The story was, it was Saturday, June 4th. I was at the event with Chad. Drove up there 2 hours, got there no problem. Drove the car like normal, like I always do. And, we take the class, and then we go out to drive, and, everything is going fine. And then basically once the fifth lap, towards the end of the fifth lap was coming up, I was on a straightaway, so I was accelerating as if we were merging or, passing someone on a highway. And then the car would not upshift, and it was bouncing off the rev limiter. I was like, oh, what's going on? Then I tried to use the paddle shifters. That did not respond. And then, so the second time then it bounced off the rev limiter one more time. As soon as that, I knew something was wrong, and I was like, okay, I gotta slow down. But as I was slowing down for a turn that was coming up, the check engine light came on, and that's when the speed just dropped down dramatically. The gas pedal wasn't responding, wasn't allowing me to accelerate, and it basically, it would only let me accelerate past like 35 miles an hour or so. But at that point, I pulled over to the side, waited for a little bit, left the car on still, and I was like, I don't know what is going on here. So left it in park for about maybe 5 minutes, and then I was like, okay, let's get this car off the track. So put the car back in drive, tried to hit the gas pedal. It did not respond. The car didn't engage into drive. So at this part, I'm really freaked out, because I'm like, what the heck? This has never happened before. The car's not engaging in the gear. So I was like, okay, well, let me turn it off, turn it back on. Didn't work. Turn it off, turn it back on, didn't work. Then the third time, I just kind of left it there, and I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. And then all of a sudden, the car felt like it caught. So it went into gear, and then I was able to actually drive slow in limp mode. So it felt like it stayed at around 3,000 RPMs, about 35 miles an hour. So it felt like it wasn't shifting. As I was driving like that in limp mode for about 5 minutes, it did finally start going back into the gears. And that's when I pulled over and onto the track, and pretty much disconnected the battery to see if I could clear the light. That sucked a little bit for me. I was like, no, what is this doing this? Why is this doing this? Car went in limp mode. Don't know what happened. This check engine light that I got, the CVT did not want to shift. It was getting stuck at like a certain RPM and would just hold. I was like, okay, my engine's about to blow. So then I had to pull off to the side, and then Chad flew by. So parked, and waited for about 20 minutes, reconnected the battery, code's still on. I plugged in the OBD reader that I had. The codes that it pulled up was the P2757 and also the P2820 together. The 2757 was related to the torque converter being stuck in an off position, and then the 2820 had to do with something like called the J solenoid performance, something that was also stuck. So the car was in limp mode at that point, and I went ahead and just cleared the code through my Auto Doctor app And once it cleared, the car actually drove pretty fine. And luckily I was able to, drive it home 2 hours without really any issue. Obviously being very easy on it, not really driving it. I mean, not using the accelerator at all, like just being easy on the car the entire time. And then as soon as I got home, 2 hours later, as soon as I filled up some gas, and then I just accelerated like just a little bit, like a small pull, maybe from 3,000 or 4,000 RPMs, the light came back on. But the car was driving fine. Luckily, it wasn't in limp mode, but the light was on while it was driving. So at this point, I'm like, crap. Well, okay, I'm in an appointment with Toyota the following Monday. So Sunday morning, the codes actually auto cleared itself. So the codes were not showing no light, and I was like, okay, that's weird. Okay, and then I was able to drive it to the dealer Monday morning with no issues. It did have a slight surge. I'm pretty sure a lot of the CVT owners probably have experienced this, because I read a lot of people experience this like little surge while you're cruising. I don't use cruise control. I just kind of like hold it, but as you're holding it, it's like it's doing like a little jerking, like and so I don't know if that has to do with the CVT as well, but it's always kind of did that when I got it, so I figured that was just kind of normal. So when I got they looked at it Monday, they had it Tuesday, and they're like, yeah, we feel the surge. We didn't have any check engine lights, but we pulled some codes, and he gave me the codes. They went ahead and did the CVT fluid flush, that they said the fluid was pretty dirty, and hopefully that will fix it. And I spent about $800 bill for the diagnosing and then doing the fluid change. So I got the car back on Wednesday, drove it home, seemed to be fine, no check engine lights, and I was kind of testing it. And when I got it back, the things I noticed that was happening as I was coming to a stop, it would really shake, like it was about to stall out. So like I would do this intentionally. It says, I'm driving my mom's RAV4, 108,000 miles. It's kind of doing the same thing. So it's kind of scary to have that feeling when your automatic is about to stall out, because you have no control over it. There's just no clutch. It's all in the car. So coming to a stop, slowly, and then you hear the slight vibration as it comes to a stop. It eventually went away. It went away after I did about 4 times. But then I was like, okay, I think it's good now. So I just started driving back to my house, and then the light came back on. And so I made an appointment for the following next day, Thursday morning, to take it back. So I was like, hey, the light's back on now. I'm gonna get it over to you guys. And I was worried about driving because the dealership is about 40 minutes away from me. And I was like, man, that's a long drive. A lot of stuff can go wrong. If it goes into limp mode, that's not gonna be good, so. I was driving it. It was doing the jerking hesitation again with the light on. It's very scary driving it at this point. And then about 10 minutes from the dealer, it went back into limp mode the way it did what happened at the track. I couldn't go past 35 miles an hour or so. And basically I literally limped onto the dealership, with the codes on. So I was like, okay, you got the codes now, read it and tell me what you got. So they got it Thursday morning. Get a call Thursday afternoon saying, I need a new transmission. I need a new transmission. And I asked, well, what was the failure? And they said the fluid overheated. This was reviewed by a field tech, a specialist. I sent an appeal letter following this, because I was like just so shocked. I was really shocked that it wasn't covered under the powertrain warranty. And I was worried about when I had mentioned, I was at a driver education event, and once they hear that word, like the bad word is track. Because as soon as you hear word track, you automatically think the worst thing. Oh, this guy's racing it, or he's abusing it. And and that's not the case. I mean, I drive the car, I leave it in drive, and I just drive normal. And I sent them an appeal letter once they told me that it was not covered, and they reviewed it. So I sent a big long letter, just kind of explaining everything, explaining that HPDE and NASA is not driving or racing or competitiveness or a competitive event. And it's driver education. You know, you have an instructor with you, they tell you what to do. And I sent them the full video session. You guys can see it too and see how I was driving. I mean, honestly, if anything, I feel like people drive their car probably way worse than what I was doing, even at a driver education event. Because I mean, when you're doing driver education, you're going at your own pace, and I'm not a speed demon in any way. And in a Corolla, I mean, it's decent, but it's not a horsepower monster. You don't buy it for speed. The car is, just to get you where you need to go. And, it handles really well. So after they had the appeal letter, I had about a few days. It goes to a field tech specialist, and then it goes to Toyota. And they went back, declined it again. And, so at this point, I called Toyota directly, made a case, and I told them that the first dealer did not, they're not covering it. And they're like, okay, well, take it to another dealer for a second opinion. So keep in mind, the service advisor at the first dealer was great. The service advisors have all been great. So I have no issues with that. I do have issues with the field tech specialists because that's who I should be contacting with. If they're the ones that are making the call, I need to be talking with them directly, not have other people be the middleman, because they need to be explained to me, why it's not covered, what happened, what did I do to make the transmission fail. This is a part that's supposed to be self, it does its own thing. You put it in drive and you just go. That's all I did. I put it in drive and use accelerator pedal. And then, so you're telling me that because the car didn't upshift, is my fault, and the fluid overheated. So, I never got a good explanation from the first one. That was really it. So, they said get a second opinion. Went to another dealer, and it's on file at this point with Toyota. So, they looked at it, the foreman reviewed it. And then it got denied again, second time. And at this point, this is when I called Toyota back and said the second dealer also denied it because they reached out, I guess, to the first field tech, and they looked at each other's nose and just like, yeah, we're just going to deny it. So back directly and said, okay, it's been denied twice by the FTSs, two different FTSs. And I was speaking with her, and it was really completely useless because she just told me the field tech specialist make the final call. And I'm just like, okay, well, do they have any sort of report or data that shows, what is leading me to misuse the vehicle or racing? She kept on saying I was racing, and I was like, I never said I was racing. I don't know why you're putting that word in there, but I know the warranty states for misuse and racing. Misuse is using it for racing, for competitiveness, and I was not doing any of that. Literally just driving the car in drive, and it's on automatic. There's nothing else for me to do other than drive it. And and I do love modding cars, obviously, but this is my first new car, my first CVT, and I knew this. I stay away from anything engine, ECU, powertrain, because I know it had a 60,000 mile warranty, and I did not want to avoid that in any way. So I took, I'm not taking any chances. And so it's completely stock. And I kept on asking this lady, I was like, what can you do? Can you escalate this? She's like, it's been escalated. I went to the field FTSs. I was like, okay, so you're not going to honor the warranty because you're saying I misused the vehicle. And then she just, she had no idea. Her name was Tracy. She was terrible. Just not getting to the point. I didn't feel like she was listening. She wasn't really helping me, understand anything because she wasn't making enough. She had no power to make any call. She just kept on saying field tech specialist. So that was just a useless step and a waste of time, honestly. So at this point, I got the car towed, and now I'm currently in process because I've been without the car since it's been about a month now. And I need to get this fixed. It's my only car. Luckily, my mom has a vehicle I can use. But, it's just been so stressful. And it's just hard that I just can't believe. I guess you got to learn how to play the game, I guess. I don't know. But it just really sucks. And I just wanted to, you know, share that with you guys. So right now I'm going to be paying out of pocket. Right now I have a local shop, found the, you know, transmission. We're going to get it installed. But I did open a case with the national, I believe it's the National Center of Distribution and Settlement. It's in the Toyota warranty manual. So I'm going to be seeking reimbursement through them. And you know, hopefully I can get reimbursed somehow for this, because it's just, it really sucks, you know, and I don't want anyone else to deal with this. And you know, if field tech specialists are gonna look at a code and automatically say I was misusing the vehicle, I mean, I would like to know how that is, you know. Like, a vehicle is made to be driven. I was driving it during a driver education event, and they're gonna deny it because of the code. So I have the codes, I'll put it up on the screen here, but the codes that I got, like I said, was related to the torque converter failing. And you know, and I even asked about the 2019 models. The 2019 models had about 3,500 CVTs models, the 2019s, and they got recalled for the torque converter failing. The impeller blades would disconnect from the torque converter, therefore requiring the remedy is a full CVT replacement with the software update. So they said my car didn't qualify for it because it's VIN specific. Even though my car was manufactured in 2019, she said the 2019 model was probably manufactured in 2018. So I'm like, okay, well, I just think it's still kind of ironic how these cars that weren't even experiencing any driver education had failed torque converters. Nothing to say, and nothing. So yeah, so it just sucks right now. So I'm going to be paying out of pocket for this transmission replacement. With Toyota, they were quoting about $8,000 with the 1-year warranty. Local shops were between 4 and 5 with the 1-year warranty on a used transmission. So that's where I'm at right now, getting it repaired, and in the meantime, seeing if I can have this get reimbursed for it. After that, I'm kind of at a loss for words, but I just want to warn you guys, there's no sort of warning system for the CVT fluid. If I were to suggest anything to Toyota or even for CVTs, because CVTs are so new and a lot of people say they're junk, and I'm starting to kind of find out the hard way on that one. But there should be some sort of warning system. If it's either being overloaded, overheated, over anything, it needs to warn the driver. There needs to be a warning or pop-up or a light that just says, hey, your transmission, if you keep doing what you're doing, your transmission is going to die on you. So there's no sort of warning system at all. So they can't even track, well, look, sir, you've been warned. Looks like 3 times, 3 alerts. You got this warning. It says, you know, stop. Your car is either being overloaded or the transmission is working too hard or something, you know. So if you're a CVT owner, definitely have your fluid checked at least every 30,000 miles. Mine popped at 20. You know, maybe even less, but just have it inspected by the dealer. Let them look at it, and you know, and if you're worried about it, if you drive, you know, somewhat spirited, just have it changed out just to be safe. Probably cost you a few $100 to have the dealer do it, and make sure you use the Toyota OEM fluid. But yeah, it just sucks. It really does. And you know, I learned from this too. I mean, you know, I was trying to be honest, but you know, don't say anything about NASA or driver education, because the dealers are not going to cover the FTSs. They're gonna take that and just, you know, get out of it. It's a get out of quick, easy. Don't have to do any work, you know. And it's not fair, you know, because if someone else got those same codes and, you know, they didn't tell them, like if I went to them and told them, yeah, I was just merging, or I was passing someone and the car didn't upshift, same situation, my car would be getting fixed right now. I probably have it back by now. And that's just not right. You know, it's not fair. Like, I mean, you know, it doesn't feel right, and it doesn't sit right. And, you know, if I knew I did something wrong, you know, I would admit it. But, you know, that's why, you know, I told the truth, and, you know, and it just, you know, it backfired. Yeah. So anyways, so don't do that. They will deny it. At least the 2 dealers I had, they denied it right away because it was at a NASA driver education event, which is also what Toyota pushes for GR owners and the GR86 owners to take their cars out and enjoy their cars too. So maybe it's different for GR owners because they actually give it out. You know, my car's just regular, but you know, I want to get it on the fun too. You know, I want to experience you know, driver education, and it was great until now. So, but anyways, that's just update. Sorry, I know this video is kind of long. I just wanted to share with you guys, and hopefully you know, it doesn't happen to anyone else. I hope you guys, everyone's CVTs and the Corollas are running well, because it's still a great looking car. And unfortunately, I do still love the vehicle, but I want to give Toyota every chance to make it right. And I'm just, I'm still waiting. And, you know, if they do make it right, I will update you guys and let you know, but this is just really bad, and I just hope this helps someone else if you get into a situation, what not to do and not be an idiot like me.